Laurence Fox is here. Well, we of course love Laurence Fox for his time as D.S. James Hathaway in Lewis, but aside from his fictional detective work in Oxford, this is good, isn't it? No, go with it, it's good.
It's good.
Yes, so far. His career has also included roles in dramatisations of real-life events and people. Laurence played Prince Charles in the drama Whatever Love Means. He was Jane Austen's potential suitor, Mr. Weasley in Becoming Jane, and he portrayed Sir Christopher Hatton in the film Elizabeth the Golden Age. Now, you can see Laurence on Sunday nights on ITV's third series of Victoria, playing Lord Palmerston. We'll talk about that in just a moment, everybody. But let's talk about your music. How long have you been a musician?
A long time now, maybe 20 years.
Quite a time, isn't it?
Help!
But, I mean, it must be frustrating because I suppose the bulk of your work is in acting, obviously, and I'm thinking you want to break away and go and do a gig.
Well, I get to do both, which is quite fun.
Yeah.
So I do a bit of acting, and then I go and do a bit of gigging.
Yeah.
And so I'm quite busy with
What
that.
was the plan then, Laurence? We obviously from a acting family, but
Yeah.
what was the plan, to be a musician or to be an actor?
Didn't have a plan, and I'm still working on that plan. Do you get a plan?
No, I think you fall into stuff, don't you?
Yeah, it's all been very fully into, generally, life, which has been quite fun, actually. It
Yeah.
hasn't worked out how I planned.
What is your type in real life? I mean, you always play against type, don't you, really?
Me? I don't know. I think I'm probably more like Palmerston Man in Victoria than I am the Hathaway Man.
See what you did there.
See what I did there?
Oh, that was very good. That was
Thank you.
very smooth, wasn't it?
He's an interesting character, though, isn't he, Lord Palmerston?
He is. It's quite funny because I think he's sort of, people quite appreciate him. I get a lot of amusing tweets from people.
He was a bit of a player, wasn't he? He was a bit of...
A bit.
He used to gad around a bit.
So I've heard, yeah. Slightly sanitised, I understand, for the 9 o'clock ITV audience. You know.
Did you research him in any great detail?
I read a bit of a book and then I started to think, ooh, this man is quite interesting. But then in the end, I think you're better off just doing what's written by the writer. Otherwise, you argue or you start pretending you're more important than you are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, let me set some stuff up. Jenna Coleman plays Queen Victoria, of course, with Tom Hughes as Prince Albert and John Sessions as Lord John Russell. In last Sunday's episode, he supported Prince Albert in his quest to become Chancellor of Cambridge University. And on Sunday night, episode 5 of this 8-part series, it's 1849, and there's an assassination attempt on the Queen, which in turn leads to her meeting Lord Palmerston's wife and finding out more about their unusual marriage. So pitch him to me. Pitch Lord Palmerston to me.
He's just a rogue, isn't he? He's a nationalist and he's a patriot, isn't he? But he mainly likes winding people up, as far as I can tell.
What was his relationship like with Victoria?
In real life, I think she said that she didn't like him at all. And in the series, they grow and develop a begrudging respect. And they start to get on because he gives her some fairly decent advice.
How influential was he, do you think, in real life at the time?
You're asking the wrong man.
I need a historian, don't I?
You need a... Yeah.
I thought you were a historian.
I think Simon Sharma, really,
I'm a
don't
cog
I?
in the wheel, me.
Sorry, forget I asked the question.
It must be great fun getting togged up in all those costumes.
It is. It's great fun. And also because I think their brief was to make me look a bit like a peacock. They even padded the breast portion of my waistcoat to make me look even more peacocky.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
think that's good because the women do have to do all that corsetry stuff, so I think the men should suffer too.
I know. You want to get Kate Fleetwood talking about corsets and its effect on the bladder. It doesn't sound fun to
Does
me.
it affect your bladder in any way?
Well, I tend to wear the corset only at home and in private.
Yes, just keep it on.
Yeah, exactly.
As a politician, Palmerston was a brash, controversial figure who was often disliked by other MPs, but was hugely popular among members of the public, a fact even Queen Victoria had to grudgingly accept. As I recall, he had a superior air about him, is that correct?
Yeah, or maybe that's just me. Do you know what I mean? No, he definitely had a superior. I get the best lines, I think. I mean, it's the first time I've read a script and gone, oh my, that's going to be fun. And the looks you get from the other actors when you deliver them with sort of faux innocence.
Yeah. You know, whenever I see you, I say hello, I always think, is there ever going to be another Lewis or is there going to be a Hathaway? I suggested it last time on the air. Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
You need to start a campaign.
No, but you say this and I think you're pretending. I think surely you'd be fed up with him.
I have 2 children to pay for. Do anything. I'll do a regional tour of Hathaway. Hello, lovely to meet you. That's £20.
Oh, that, of course, Lewis would make, the Morse things would make a lovely kind of series of plays around the
I
country.
think they tried it, actually. I think Kev went to see a Morse on stage in Oxford at the Oxford Playhouse at some point. He invited me and I just wasn't available that night.
Yeah, no, of course not. And do you watch the old episodes?
I don't. And the worst part of this is that people come up to me on other jobs and they say, oh, we did a Lewis together. And I'm like, nope.
Don't remember.
And then I'm like, what was the plot? And then they tell me the entire plot and I go, nope, still.
Terrible. You can't recall episodes of Lewis and the people you acted alongside?
No.
That's a no.
Kev said that you wipe it, and I said, no, I'll remember. This is a magic time in my life. You're not going to wipe this. Wiped.
Gone.
Can't remember any
Well,
lines.
I suppose you have to make room for the next thing.
You have to make room for the next bunch of lines.
And then in the latter series, the last series I recall, you kind of lost respect for him a bit, didn't you? You were kind of a bit more lippy.
Yeah, I mean, again, wiped. What happened?
You seem strangely detached from the work.
You've got to remain strangely detached from the work. I think I was upset with him because he was going to leave the police force and then have direct effect on my own career, both on screen and off screen.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kev.
Well,
All method acting.
Yeah. Okay, so just recap on what we'll be able to see on Sunday.
We all go to Ireland and I entertain her at my house. And she meets my wife, who I have a rather unconventional relationship with.
Yes.
And there's the usual sort of bit of, is there sneaking around at night? I can't remember. I think there must be. There's a bit of sneaking around.
Okay, sneaking around at night we'll take. And you can see Laurence Fox in Victoria. It continues over on ITV this Sunday evening, 9 p.m. Plus, of course, it'll be on ITV Hub. Oh, yes, the ITV Hub, that's what they call it, along with the previous episodes. And where you could probably see some old Lewises as well.
Yeah.